Here, Joe, take the lead for a second. I'll back it up.
Go ahead.
Take the lead. Okay. Okay. So my argument is the fact that people make mistakes. You know, people do fucked up shit and they make mistakes. And Chris Benoit, allegedly, and I say that very loosely, folks, because what murder investigations are open and closed in 24 to 48 hours? I'll wait if anyone has a comment on that. The case was open and closed.
There are such thing as open and shut cases.
Yeah, but there was no investigation, Crishaun. There was no investigation in that shit.
The investigation was definitely flawed. It was definitely it was definitely off.
They investigated Lex Luger for Miss Elizabeth's death for almost 10 years.
Well,
and she OD'd on pills in his bathroom.
Well, you can't really compare cases like that. Because
10 years? What the fuck?
Because we could be talking about different states, different police departments. There's a lot of different variables.
It was in Georgia. It was both in Georgia.
They were both in Georgia.
Yes.
Same police departments?
I'm not sure if it was the same, but I know they were both in Georgia.
Well, that's
same state.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that it doesn't necessarily we would have to know specifically what police department was doing that. Here's my question though, with people that believe that Benoit, because I'm not hard on either side, but my question is always it's like 9/11 conspiracy theorists and stuff.
Yes,
what is the motive if there is if it is a conspiracy that Benoit didn't really, or what is the story that you believe then? That's the first question. And then what is the motive behind the conspiracy?
I mean, it could be a number of things. Yeah. There could be a number of different things that could have happened. It could have been a home invasion. Could have been a robbery that they staged to look like a murder-suicide.
Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, that's another option too. And a lot of people lean towards that. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, he didn't do it, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Anybody can say they didn't do something. Doesn't mean he didn't pay somebody to do it.
Well, yeah, but you're jumping to a major conclusion. You have to have a lot more evidence that there were people involved or people at the scene. Now, I'm not saying that the police didn't do a bang-up job and collect all the evidence. Maybe they missed some. But what evidence is there that there were other people at the scene?
All right. I'm going to drop 4 theories down real fast.
And we'll get back to the Hogan thing, too.
Huh? Oh, which one you want to do, Hogan or you want to?
Yeah, we're on a tangent right now. But let's do this first because we jumped into it. Go ahead, D-Walk.
Oh, you want me to finish it?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's four things that happened. You got 2-3 days before they died, before it even came out, it was already on Wiki. And then the location was located in Connecticut at WWE headquarters.
Okay.
The second one was when the police got there, they let the neighbor go in the house first.
Okay.
The third one was they said when Chris Benoit called Chavo, it sounded like he was wrestling with somebody. Like he was out of breath. The fourth one I gotta say is when Chris Benoit hung himself, he had the bars on max. There's no way you can hang yourself with one arm on a max bar.
Nope.
Right.
That was always one of my arguments.
And then they said they found alcohol in the house, but it wasn't no alcohol in the system.
Well, that's easily explained away, the alcohol thing, because there was also I saw reports that the Benoit family had a little party kind of cookout thing a few days before this whole thing went down. Or maybe that week or something like that. And they proved that with the fact that they were telling people they were doing this, and then there was receipts from supermarkets that all the purchases. So the thing about the alcohol not being in the system, it's easily plausible that they had this cookout, they drank, they did whatever, and still they didn't throw away the bottles yet or the cans or whatever. And alcohol doesn't actually stay in your system like more than I think 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like alcohol doesn't stay in your system that long, so it's plausible that it just was out of their system and they had drank it previously.
Crishaun, another thing is the door was unlocked. That was another big thing because the door was unlocked. What celebrity do you know is going to leave their door unlocked with their wife and kid in the house?
Well,
and then it goes also to another fact of what the security cameras at the home. They said that they didn't have no footage.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's another question. It's a red flag.
Well, what was the thing you said before that?
The door was unlocked.
The door was unlocked. Yeah, because I think that's explained by the text that he sent to Chavo, is that he left the doors unlocked so that the police could get in and like they wouldn't have to break in the house. It was easy for them. Like I'm pretty sure he texted that to Chavo. So it's not something that I think Benoit does on the regular.
Yeah.
Or did on the regular.
I think Chavo know more than what he know. More than what he say he do.
Well, that's where I was gonna ask you guys. Because that's why I have to ask you, what do you actually believe happened? Because when D-Walk, you were giving your points, it's kind of like, are you implicating that this is a major conspiracy and a cover-up and WWE is in on it, the police department is in on it, basically the government's in on it, Chavo Guerrero is in on it?
It wouldn't be the first time the WWE has covered up a murder.
Yeah, but why would they? Like, what's their because it didn't.
Why they do it for Snuka?
Yeah, but that actually worked. What I'm saying is they came out. Why would Vince come out and do a whole tribute show on a 3-hour Raw and tribute the whole thing to Benoit and then have to recant it the next night on ECW?
Can I answer that, Joe? Give me a second. I'm listening to the whole thing for this. Okay, the reason that the smartest way to make yourself not the villain is by doing a 3-hour show on one day and then the next day feeling and seeing yourself appalled and saying that you could have stricken his name off the record books. And again, I have always been in the conspiracy era of I kind of leaning on the fact that I think Benoit something happened, but and I've told this to Crishaun, I've always considered the theory as well that Kurt Cobain didn't off himself either. There was too much heroin in his system to even make him move by the coroner's report.
Yeah, but also Kurt Cobain had a high tolerance for heroin.
Yes, they did account for that. But
I'm not saying because I'm sorry, Alex, real quick. I kind of believe what you're saying, that Kurt Cobain may have not killed himself and it was Courtney Love. I think that's
what I think.
To do with it. I definitely have a belief that could be possible, but I'm just throwing out like almost like a courtroom thing. Like here's the argument, like, and what's the plausible argument?
Back to yeah, you're right, and I apologize for that. Back to WWE.
No, you're good. You're good.
It makes more sense to cover up something than to let it happen. Because again, by the coroner's report, Benoit's brain was an 80-year-old mush. Right. That's been proven, it's been shown, document data, everything. It's all out there. So there's nothing to contest about that. So maybe in conspiracy theories, he saw something or heard something that he wasn't supposed to hear. And it was just one thing that happens. Because you made up a good point just a few minutes ago. They got away with Snuka. If they got away with something, they have two choices. Either they say they're never going to do it again and try to do the straight and narrow, or let's keep doing it because we got away with it the first time.
Well, let's be honest though, they didn't. It hasn't been proven that WWE knew about Snuka. It never got tried in court, of course, because Snuka,
Yes, but it is documented. But it was documented that Vince McMahon was in that area during that time with a fucking briefcase.
Yeah, but that's not evidence that anything nefarious was going on Vince's side. Like, of course, a millionaire businessman would be in the same place as his talent with a briefcase. Like, that's not. I'm just saying it's possible, but it's not. I'm looking for evidence, hard evidence in anything.
True.
Well, they're not going to leave a paper trail.
Yeah.
Well,
This is like
well,
Owen
this,
Hart. Let's talk about Owen Hart.
well, real quick,
Cover
this is my question though. Is what do you guys believe happened though? Because I think you're veering off in the conspiracy theory. Is that what is the motive for WWE covering up a murder with Chris Benoit and his wife?
Okay.
Like what are they obfuscating? I don't
It-
understand
Maybe
that part.
maybe
To
their
me,
talent was involved.
Their
Maybe they were
talent?
protecting talent. Maybe because maybe someone in their talent pool was involved in it, and they were trying to protect that person.
Like who?
I don't know. That's the whole thing. If we knew, we would be able to say, this, this, and this, but we don't know.
or
What if it was? What if it was Chavo?
I don't. I will contest that, saying that Chavo's not that badass enough to like, or not even badass enough, like that important enough to be covering up something. I do believe if there was a nefarious reason of why Benoit was off with his wife and kids, it was because
they say something.
they heard something or of that nature. But even then, maybe it wasn't the government, like not the government, the WWE's
No.
involvement completely, but something was involved. And there's again a guy like Benoit who was 80-year-old mushhead, but paranoid like crazy. That is documented. He was paranoid like crazy.
Right.
Where is the video footage of that day? What, like, and you're right. If he said to the cops, "I'm gonna unlock the door" and everything else, I don't know, the way that he did his wife and kid and then offed himself would be more evil.
Well, that's
You know,
sorry. Go ahead, Alex. Finish.
more.
Finish your point.
Sorry, it would be more evil than being sincere. Because if
He
you're gonna
delicately did everything.
showing an art of macabre to the cops, you're not really showing them like mercy by like unlocking the door. I think.
But then
Right.
didn't Chavo say he was just at their house 2-3 days prior before everything happened?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's no here, no there.
Well, that's the thing of the whole thing is how do you like? We're talking about a guy who had a deteriorated brain.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, for us to try to explain his behavior at all is kind of like it's hard to narrow that down because like why were there Bibles all over the house? You know what I mean? It's like that's who knows? He could have just been in some kind of insanity spin, and he was I don't know, doing a ritual. Maybe he thought he was trying to bring them back to life.
There's been
You
cases
could
of
literally
that.
you could literally theorize on anything. That's why this is why, and I guess we can end it here and I'll let you guys have the final word on it. Is that with the whole Benoit thing is I just tend to believe in Occam's razor, where it's the simplest route is the truth. And that's kind of where I go with the Benoit thing of all the like there's no real evidence to the theories. There's plausibility, I suppose, but there's no evidence. So Occam's razor says that, most likely he just had a delusional tailspin and killed his family and himself in weird ways too.